Microphone check, microphone check, microphone checks. Microphone has checked. Where to chat at, though? No, seriously, where to chat at? Hey, there we go. Um, oh, what is the target? I mean, like, I don't know. For me, I think that would be more than sufficient, but, I took majority out of this already. That would be more than sufficient, though. It's already more than sufficient for me. And top of the morning, Indy and Danielle 1994. Hopefully the music isn't too annoying. Stream's working, right? Yeah, stream's working. All right. Well, let's get into a little bit of maybe get into a little bit of Bitcoin. Take a look at some other stuff. Oh gosh, there's probably a lot to talk about here. All right, so we hit a major area of resistance at some point in time yesterday. Yeah, whenever maybe I don't know if you want to call it here. I kind of have to question that, so I would prefer to consider it having hit um, resistance here, and you don't really come down at all. That I mean, this is an indication. We talked about this zone, right? We talked about the capitulation that happened from this zone, and when I see an interaction that's like one, two, maybe three, and like on the third one, it's like no, it didn't go anywhere, right? And then, which to me says this is early indication that this old position here wasn't being defended. And so, we don't come down all that much. We come up again, crack those highs again, um, and then yeah, we plummet down, grab up some of this lower liquidity, and then things get hella weird in between here. This is normally an area that I would never trade in a million years. But because we were inside of it on market open, I decided I wanted to participate. Normally, I'm just going to reiterate that. Normally, I would never trade in the middle of that candle. Just wouldn't do it. But we had something. We had something moderately interesting on market open, enough that I thought, to hell with it, I might just give it a shot. Price had come back down to the discount of the range. And then it had come up, formed some manner of a low, and then broke the low, right? Or broke the high here. Now, when this happened, I want to go through this because I just want to tell you what was going through my head when I took the trade, right? Let's get this anchored VWAP off of here. So this is your market open candle. Let me use an arrow for this. That's your market open candle. Notice how there's no wick on the bottom of, wait, this is the market open candle. Notice how there's no wick on the bottom of this, right? So when I see price push directly up, zero down, directly up into market open, hits this tiny little insignificant piece of supply here. Now, you form some internal demand here. When I see it pushing up off of no wick, I'm going, okay, we're filling shorts, right? Like, we're filling shorts. Market has got to come down on open to fill longs. It has to come down on open to fill longs. So we come up here and I'm like, okay, we're filling shorts. Cool. Into supply. Cool. Are we going to break this low? And then when we had come down into here and then started pulling, so then we came below the market open positions that just marketed in and up only. Nobody limited here, or there would have had to have been a wick down here for them to have filled their order with. And so all these people mark it long on open, and then, right, so they're the takers. And then you see maker involvement here. Wicks indicate limit orders getting filled. You see makers take it right back below the takers. And then you see the wick from the maker filling long. And that's why I took it. I was busy capping and didn't even realize that we were up here. I'm just going to move my stop loss like way up here. Yeah, move my stop loss right here, and we'll likely get stopped out on stream, I would imagine. All right, so let's reanalyze some Bitcoin and see what's what here. Let's see what's what. Let's get out to like maybe 30-ish or so. Let's delete shit. Let's delete shit by drawing on it. Hold, please. Hit demand. Yeah. Let's just delete all this. Let's get rid of this line. Let's get rid of this line. I don't want to move that around. Let me just like, bruh. Yeah, let's delete this. Let's delete this. I actually thought this was interesting because I caught a long right here yesterday too. As we pulled right back into the PSC of this little mini range. Anyways, I'm wasting time. All right. So as price begins to interact with this supply up here, we formed a range. This section of the range right here, your low, was put into demand, had a local break. It was kind of a shitty one, and brought you marching all the way up to your high. So there was orders that entered here that drug price back up to the high. All of this is to say, and there was the stop getting hit. All of this is just to say that like this piece of supply that I've been waiting for an answer on has showed its hand a little bit. Yeah, it showed its hand a little bit, right? It's like, look at this. It's pretty pathetic, right? Like you can get a 1% drawback from that giant capitulation event that happened. Wherever it happened, back here in August 24th or something like that. I mean, pretty bullish, right? I find that to be pretty bullish. Let's delete all this shit. And we talked about this structure break here. Right, from this range here. And furthermore, that pullback from pre-market open, like you couldn't even take this low out here. You couldn't even get down into this order block here. Now, yeah, so I don't know. I just, said, hey, let's just get some, right? Now, we still, having said all that, where initiation though? right? So if we've made the initiation out of this lower range, and we've put in some manner of backtesting to that range, and then we have developed a new range, where initiation? Where that though? So far I'm not seeing it. Yeah, we can get rid of that. We're done with that. Um, yeah, so far not really seeing the initiation. Um, which also is why I was saying like, what's target here? Because I never know whether we're going to initiate or whether we're going to SFP. Sometimes I have an inclination, but nobody ever knows, right? Um, so let's see, what is this line, and can I delete it? Oh yeah, that's the breakup from the prior range. No, not a bear boss, bull boss. Bull boss, bull, 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 bull. Jesus, I don't even care anymore. I'm deleting it. Um, so I don't think it matters too much because they're pretty close to each other. Um, but these lows just came very important. These lows just became very important. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, right? Because we have interacted with the highs or the high that created the lows. And so, yeah, range theory would say if we can't initiate here, then we have to come back. And obviously, if we break here, no bueno, right? So one thing I'm still going to keep an eye out for is this piece of price action right here. I'll double check myself. I didn't sleep well last night, so I feel like I should double check myself. I believe this represents a 4-hour order block, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll just go ahead and double check that information. Yeah. And so what that represents to me is that represents the point in which when we broke from this range right here and formed this initiation, we left this behind. This is that thing that I always refer to. Your last sell to buy prior to breaking structure while forming an inefficiency. That's this guy. And it is in a pretty close proximity to that low right there. So I'm still, these are important lows, but they are supported lows, in my opinion. They are supported lows. And so I'm still going to suggest some attention here in the event that yeah, let's go ahead and get this guy marked out next. Yeah, in the event that yeah, I'm still interested in there. I don't think it would be incredibly bearish to hit that and run. I don't think that would be incredibly bearish at all. No, I really don't. I think it's fine. I mean, technically speaking, we have our initiation and our mitigation. No matter which one of those wicks you're including or looking at, to me, the initiation and mitigation looks like it could be in still, but I'm more than happy to see it wreck some more folks and come back. Hold on, let me get this. No, this was the capitulation event. This is the capitulation event. What in the hell was it? Oh, no. I remember now. I remember why I had this area picked out. But what candle did I use? I don't even remember. I think the 16-hour one suffices. No, that has a wick through it. Bruv. Oh, here it is. Now, you do have, so we like barely made it through halfway point on this, if I'm not mistaken. Where's the thing I want? Middle line. That's not overly encouraging. There's still potential distribution happening here, but I'm not allowed to short until we lose these lows. Yeah, I'm just not, because I'm pretty sure. Let's go back down, all the way back down to the 1 minute. Yeah, primary structure on the leg up. I'm just going to come from this low, which is not really a valid way to do it. Technically, you have to come here and here, and then you have to. It's super weird. But I'm just going to come from here. That's how the structure flows on this upwards leg right here. And so, as far as I'm concerned, this is still demand right here. And I have nothing that I'm comfortable in shorting. I have nothing that I'm comfortable in shorting at all. As far as I'm concerned, price can do this still. So yeah, I really don't have a short. But due to the lack of clear initiation above whatever these highs, and the failure to have actually cleared that supply block, I need something clear to happen in here before I could get re-involved. So currently, the trade I love the most is the one coming out of this lower 4-hour demand block. Currently, that is the trade that I love the most. Yep. Yep, that's the one I love the most. And then I'm willing to bet anybody could probably guess what I would be looking for next. I don't want to get, I consider myself very lucky to have pulled off a trade inside of here. Because again, like I don't normally trade inside of a candle that looks like that. I consider myself very lucky for that. So I'll be pretty chill on that. But give me some manner of initiation here, right? Show me that demand's truly in control and can break through these areas, and then I will be doing what I do every damn day of my life. I will be paying attention to this leg of price. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Yeah, I know I'm trying to like not have the music on because YouTube kicked me off midstream the other day. So I've got music, but you guys can't hear it. All right, uni. Uni. Let's do uni. I mean, I can try and turn the music up. See if you see if YouTube wants to kick us out of here again. Dude, I clicked the button. What are we doing? Come on. Uni. Thanks. Okay, failed to initiate here. Okay, let's get cleaned up. Right, so your larger macro range is still here and here. Structure on the downstroke broke bullishly back here. Since that occurred, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. We're internal to these two. So we need to take a look at this leg and that leg and see what the story they tell is. I think we'll use the 4 hour for this. You really didn't confidently address your 4 hour market structure till here, but that was so close to the prior high. Then we hit a wick. And that's a really poor clearance. That's another range in and of itself. That didn't surpass deviation. Okay, so we break this bearishly. The SFP this. We break that bearishly as well. So this leg here to the high broke bearishly. This leg that's been crawling down here has yet to flip bullishly. It's in a position where if it's going to happen, it needs to happen here, right? All right, so we have our strong high and we have our weak low because of the bearish market structure. So as we first interact with our strong high, let's drop to the 15 now. So this is the low that created this high. It hits the strong high, SFP's the low. Yeah, this is where it gets concerning right here. So structure flows up. Hits that. All right, so this is what I would say is targeted at the moment. So your primary structure between here and here does not break bearishly until here. But your structure between here and here broke bearishly here. Well, it's actually a wick below there, so it gets a little ugly, doesn't it? It's a little ugly, but it nonetheless, like, doesn't look particularly good. It doesn't look particularly good to me, because this isn't happening in the middle of nowhere, right? This is not happening in the middle of nowhere. This is happening at a relevant, at the point on the chart in which structure would return bullishly from this action, right? Here is the range in which it has an opportunity to flip bullishly again, and this is where we're beginning to struggle. So it's not in the middle of nowhere. And then we have the same issue of this asshole candle, right? I would actually, you know, to be honest, I don't know if I've watched any of the orb videos. I think I have an understanding of the concept. I would honestly treat this as an orb. And I would say that for every chart we're going to look at today, because I'm willing to bet they all have this sort of wicked candle. This candle cleaned out all orders in the market that existed here and all orders in the market that existed here. And a decision has not been made yet. A decision has not been made yet as to whether or not these people win or whether or not these people win. That decision has not been made yet. So yeah, I would treat this like an open range breakout concept. Um, I would still, yeah, but I would, and I'm going to say that about every chart we go to, for the most part. I have a feeling. Um, so for me, this all means that there's not a really great trade immediately on the table for me. Because if we look at this and we say, what do I want to use? I want to use a range tool. And so if we say we have a range from here to here, and we are close to the equilibrium of the range, and on top of that, I'm saying we have another range here that we have to pay attention to. Well, it's like, okay, so if I have to wait until it breaks this low to decide this range, where is my risk to reward to get here? I have no risk to reward to get there. If it breaks to the upside of the range, of that internal range, is it going to initiate above this high? Or is it going to fail this high? I don't have an answer to that either. So I need this to happen, or I need this to happen. And this one is going to provide the one that's way easier to trade. This one is going to suck balls. Because if this happens, I'm now going to be waiting to see what happens here. I'm still not interested between this and this. Still not overly interested in that scenario. So all of that is to say that we currently have a range of price. Let's get back to the 30-minute or so. We currently have a range of price, and the range of price I'm referring to is this range. We are in the premium of it. We have failed to clear these highs, and we have a weak low below us due to the bearish market structure that preceded this range. So, yeah. So, you know, the primary up structure from here has not broken bearishly, and does not break bearishly until this low. The primary structure from here to here does not break bearishly until this low right here. So we're in premium. We have failed to clear. We have a weak low, and we have no market structure yet to justify a short trade down to there. No market structure yet to justify that. So I'm pretty neutral on this. I would keep an alert. Just hold on. Let me get back down to the 15. Yeah, my alerts would be my alerts would be that candle. That candle here. Those would be my alerts on it, and I would be interested to see what happens after it interacts with one of those. Is this going to SFP and rotate? Is this going to SFP and rotate? Is this going to break and retest and run? And if it does that, is it going to SFP this low and actually crawl back up to this high? You know what I mean? Like, there's still so many options and so many unanswered questions locally here that I don't think this chart's worth much more than a couple of alerts at the moment. Sui broke below the 15-minute trend line, retested twice. Let's take a look at Sui then. Broke below 15-minute trend line and retested it twice. I'm going to assume you're referring to some manner of trend line here. Okay, well, I'm not really a trend liner, so let's relax on that for a moment. Let me just take a look at what structure is going to tell me. Okay, so price hit this high, pulled back into demand, came up, set a new high, shit initiation, but mitigation for continuation nonetheless. Gets really loosey-goosey in here, shoots up to that. Oh, we just loosely marked the midpoint of supply. That's all that was. So don't get overboard on that. All right, now let's get rid of this high. I don't need that. I definitely do not need that. So here's my read on SUI. Let's go ahead and back this off to there. Let's go ahead and delete this, and let's go ahead and delete this. Let's go ahead and delete this and this. Okay, here's where I'm at on SUI. Okay, so we've hit this high, and we have failed to what I would consider truly initiate above the high. On the first attempt, it's an SFP, back to demand. On the second attempt, you get really piss poor clearance above this high. We take one more attempt at it, really piss poor clearance above that high. We take one more attempt at it, piss poor clearance above that high. Your structure between this low and this high appears to have broke bullishly, but really it's just a wick. And so I'm not going to say it breaks bearishly until you lose that low. Meaning that your primary structure up from this low is still intact. So essentially we're trading the range of price, in my opinion, from here to this high. When we break this low, then I can start entertaining shorts. Personal opinion. This is just me I'm talking about, right? We break that, I can start entertaining shorts. Until then, as I suspected, I'm literally just going to treat this like an orb. Oops, I deleted the wrong thing. I want this to go away. Yeah, I'm not super happy with anything in here. I still have a bullish bias on this. I mean, I'm down for making the argument that you put in an order block here. And we had broke this low at least bearishly. That's at least a candle body close there, so I'm down with that. But to me, this break here only indicates that you're going to come for primary structure, which is here. And all we did was wick below that into the point that we broke bullishly out of from this demand. Let's drop to the 5 and investigate that low. Okay, so if we were to measure our demand over from where, when it came out of here, we broke bullishly here. We have an inefficiency here. None of that had been retested until this wick happened. So again, like, all I see is that we really failed to clear highs, came back for demand, and are still internal to here and here. And my bias remains bullish on this until I see big candle bodies below this level. My bias remains bullish. You have these weird internal legs of price on this afterwards. So again, the only thing, I'm just reiterating this again, I really don't care too much about what happens between these 2 points. I don't care too much. Having said that, there's nonetheless TA that can be done on it. You had a high here. You failed to initiate above that high. You left this demand behind. You stabbed for the high again. You failed to initiate above that high. You break bearishly here. Which again, just none of this really means hogwash. These are the points that mean something. So you break bearishly internally here. You have some, it's not really good looking supply here, in my opinion. We're on the 1 minute time frame, right? So for me, yeah, this leg of price here broke bullishly here. And so like you're trying to figure out, is this going to hold price down for a new low? I would have to have my stop up in this area. And I wouldn't be confident. I'm not, again, I know I said it 14 times. You're probably sick of listening to me. Nothing can happen in here that will give me any direction on the asset. Has to happen here or here. Yeah, that's it. This is the best I can come up with internal to these points. It's the best I can come up with. Is this to a new low? Maybe target that low, forming an internal range to this range. The best I got for you there. Dot, what did you do, homie? I think he looks pretty hot, if you ask me. Again, Q looks pretty hot. Dot. I think we were cooking on Dot the other day, and I don't think my opinion changes on it. Yeah, I don't see any reason to change my opinion on this. Nope, not at all. Let's drop down to the 15. Yeah, I mean, like I can shift my opinion. This is where I wanted to see the asset trade into for a long trade. But you know, you start kind of developing a range here. Shit thing is like this is, you see how this high took this high before breaking this low. That means nothing between here and here can flip bullishly until you break that. What fucking good does that do anybody, right? Fucking does no good. I'd still like to see. I'd still be interested in this zone. I still have zero issues with this zone. I don't have a single problem in the world with it. But all I'm trying to say is we may not hit that zone. We may just rotate from the bottom of this range back to the top of this range, right? That's very, very possible. In which case, in all honesty, even if we put in an initiation here, I could still see a retracement coming back to here for up. I don't really feel like trading into this initiation. So even if I see structure flip bullishly here and start moving up, even if it flips bullishly and then like, sorry, I'm getting really shit with my drawings, flips bullishly, retraces, and kind of goes for, see, that wouldn't even work because you can't, it's pretty premium. That's why I'm struggling. It's pretty premium. Again, I don't know if, I have no idea because I lack psychic abilities, whether this level here is going to SFP or whether it is going to Hulk smash face out of here. I don't know these answers. I've no clue. Is it going to be A or B? I don't have that answer. And so I need this answer before I can trade it. And I don't have that answer yet. So, and again, I don't like trading into initiations like that. I don't like doing it. So for now, I'm here, or give me this, and then let's do what? Let's see what happens on this Lega price. Hold on, we're gonna restart this song. We're gonna give you guys some audio. It's kind of fire. I don't want to go too loud with it though, because then some people are gonna be like, "Bro, can't hear you." What else do we want to look at, guys? Where's Jesus Sabes to ask about XRP? Where'd that guy at? Where he at, though? Where he at? What is this on my... Bizarre things happening on YouTube. Hey, top of the morning, Mr. Alex O. Cryptography. What's up, dude? What's up, dude? See, and this is why this is 100%. We hadn't been on this chart since the beginning of the stream. This is 100% why I moved my SL right to here. Yeah, because my entry was like here, and look how much profit I would have given back. I mean, now obviously we look at this and go, well, yeah, but what if it does this? Cool, yeah, then I would have looked like a rock star. But I don't know the answers to these questions until we get into areas like this, right? I don't know these answers, so gladly stopped out here and not confident enough in that. I mean, we're on the 1 minute time frame, right? I don't have the candles that meet my rules. This to me was a more logical entry than this would have been to trade back to that. So, but you know, I don't know, kind of cool, kind of bullish. Yeah, that's pretty bullish. Hey, well, all right, fine, Jesus Sabes. Don't come onto the stream and ask about XRP. Make me do it by myself. Rude. Guy left me hanging today. Left me hanging. Yeah. Same damn problem. Don't like anything in between these. There's nothing I'm gonna love. But part of me low-key wonders if you can... I can't allow myself to do this twice because this is like a no-fly zone, and I already flew inside of these zones today, and succeeded, so I don't really do not have a lot of interest in testing that luck again. Let's get rid of all these goddamn lines. Oh my Lanta. My Lantas. I just had this thought come to my mind. So I'm going to share it. And this is going to apply to everything that we've looked at already this morning. Yeah, let's use this. But I want it like on this side. No, but I need to read the percentages. Yeah, something like this. Nope, wrong button again. Okay, so good amount of supply entered the market. Price rips down. Price returns back up. Okay. I am going to make an objective statement that, you see, this is that 75% line to 100 line, and this is the 0 to the, let's call it 60% line. This to me, I could be wrong, but this came to my head, so I'm going to say it, right? I was thinking back to that, how I opened up the supply and demand video. There was, for price to have hit here and returned back 60% of the way, means that there is more demand that entered here than there was supply that entered here. So, I think that's kind of cool. And, yeah, but nobody asked about X. Oh, there's Slam Banjo. Or there's somebody asking for XRP. No, I haven't covered Aave, but I'd be happy to take a look at it. I always like the Aave chart. I do always like the Aave chart. Truly, the break is here. This is a target. Can we fill that gap? Technical analysis inside of these 2 points is very rough for me. Very rough. Okay, but we can see that this broke bullishly here. But was that the mitigation? Yeah. I think I really want to see that gap filled. I don't know if it'll work that way. I'd really like to see this gap filled. I don't know if it's going to work that way, but I'd love to see that gap filled. Anyways, Aave. Is there anything on the higher time frames that we should be talking about on XRP? Nope, nope, definitely not. Still stuck in between here and here. Yep, so all internal price action of those, nothing too important in there. Aave. Where you at, Aave? Well, I got one of the targets. How's the music? It's not too loud, right? If I turn it up too loud, YouTube might kick me out of here. All right, let's think about some things here. So, I mean, I would say it was pretty objective that there was an excessive amount of demand that entered the market right here. As price comes allowing up out of this zone, 25%, breaking this high. Did we break anything else cool? Anything? Anything? Anybody home over there? Come on, internet. Let's go, bro. Kinda, sorta. I mean, like, there's something else over there. Okay, let me get back down to 15. Okay, so a lot of demand in there, right? A lot of demand in there. When we finally hit the demand, we did get some lift. This asshole. Lose structure again, new low, break structure. Yeah, so this is where I get a little concerned for this. So we had our range, we had our initiation, we come back down for a mitigation to our last sell to buy that created the inefficiency. And as we come out of there, supply still in control, new low. Yeah, I start like SFP this high then. Bro, come on. Why all the time with this shit? SFP that high. New low. So like why? This is where my brain is stuck, and I've been trying to think my way through this. Why, if we have an initiation and a mitigation and a bullish structure transition afterwards, we fall to a new low? That to me says these people closed. And then we range and we range and we get in here and we look like shit, and now I officially like nothing on the inside of this range anymore. I officially like fucking nothing in here anymore. Cool. So now I have to look towards more external stuff. Let's go to the 4. So price is still trending up and to the right with higher highs and higher lows. Right. As we come out of here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Strong low. I like an SFP on the strong low, okay? I like an SFP on the strong low, especially because you have demand right underneath it. I like that. Just drop to 15 and see if there's anything else in here that we like. Boom, boom. So price still trading internally to these 2 points. Okay. All internal upwards only. What happened here? No, this is where I start to get lost, right? Still internal to these guys. Really wasn't shit for structure on this down leg. hit demand, clear the high, go all the way through demand. Yeah, yeah. And we got to be outside of this. We got to be outside of that. And I have issues, right? Because if I break to the top, I've got a problem there. And if I break to the bottom, I have support down here. No local trades I like on Aave. Nothing locally I like on it. Nothing locally I like on it. I would like to look down here. I'd be like moderately entertained if we can initiate for some manner of retest, run up, see what's going on here. Because this supply created this supply. Yeah, this is the most I've got for you, y'all. That's the most I got for you. All right, music's good. Cool. Slam Banjo, I'd like to see the gap filled. RSR, NASDAQ intraday all-time high. Let's see what. I mean, I thought NASDAQ was looking pretty good, but now all of a sudden I'm curious what intraday all-time high. Intraday all-time high. I hear that and I go, I need to see this. Intraday all-time high. Intraday all-time high. Oh, like you think the all-time high gets hit today? Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah, that seems super logical. Seems super logical. Yeah, agreed. RSR, people have asked for that before. That's a cryptocurrency, right? Hold up. I like the stance on this. We got back down into discount. We flipped structure. We mitigated. We formed a new range. We pulled below the range. It's your first 4-hour market structure break. I will not consider this to be where market structure broke. It had to come back down into demand. That 4-hour order block right there. It had to come up again. Failed to do it on the second attempt too. It had to ride the struggle bus to get up out of here. Flip again. This is not mitigated. New range. Break. Demand. More demand. To me, that is a break of the primary up structure. You have one more hump in your up structure, but you broke the primary. Yeah, you broke primary up structure from this low up to here. This didn't actually pull the low, and this is still unmitigated. I'm more confident that this can roll down here. More confident about that. Then again, where was market open on this? No wick. You got a 3R before demand or into demand. And if you can get back up above here, let's go ahead and put a ray on it. Yeah, this is a clear invalidation point here. Yeah, sure is. Yeah, I would see I'd want a long if we were above this. We could initiate above that, I'd want a long again. But until then, yeah, probably not. Can you ultimately take out lower targets on this? Yeah, maybe, but you know, Alex is here, and what would Alex say? Don't be a dick for a tick, bro. Yeah, I see it. I see the potential for just 3Rs back down into this lower piece of demand, and then we worry about some of the other shit later. That's kind of what I think. That's kind of what I think. RSR came, we did that. Black Swan is a catalyst unlike ever before. Lincoln Cass. How am I doing on time? I'm getting really low on time, so I'm gonna have to be fairly quick. I'm gonna keep this one really simple. Like I said, I'd be treating that weird candle prior to market open as an orb on pretty much every chart. Problem is north of the orb is a nasty section of supply. And south of the orb, we don't really have a lot of demand. Not a lot. Some, but not a lot. An order of operation to this. Yeah, or is there? No, I could see this going either way. I could see it flowing into this to flow into this. And I could see it happening the opposite way. I could see it flowing into this to flow into this. I could see both of those working no matter which direction it goes. That's generally where I'm at on Link. And then what was your other one, Cass? Okay, so we did SFP this yesterday. Come up here. Okay. Where initiation now? This has no demand left underneath it. Could come down in pretty deep, actually. Yeah, you gotta resolve that weird candle on that one still too. And then Ondo, and I'm out. Ondo, and I'm out. Ondo, and we're out of here. Ondo, and we're out of here. So more of initiation than, I mean, whatever. These are all just theories, right? But we had our initiation, we had our mitigation, we had our continuation, we got to said target. Okay, cool. Let's regroup.
So when you listen to music, do you see colors or hear colors or hear colors or hear colors or hear colors?
Bummer. Because I went down here. I would also treat that as an orb. I don't like shorting on this. I don't want to plan a short on that. Larry V, no, I'm a loser. None of the charts are posted in Discord, but I'll do you one better. This is what I am gonna post in Discord. I'm gonna copy this link. I'm gonna paste this link in Discord. Okay. When you open the link, it is gonna open TradingView. You are gonna want to go to the object tree. This guy right here. Then you're gonna want to go to Manage Layout Drawings. Click here. And everything that is synced in this layout and all the drawings on all of it are all in here. Okay, that's how you get to it. You click the link I'm going to post. You go to Object Tree. You go to Manage Layouts. And then you select any chart you want to look at. And you will literally be looking at this. It'll look just like this. There'll be no differences. And I'm going to put that link in the Brewberry TA channel. And it is posted. And so anybody can grab that link and go to Object Tree, this little pitchfork for Manage Layout Drawings, and you can pull up any of these charts. And if I change something on the chart, it will change on that layout. Pretty sure. All right. You watch my chart like Netflix. Does it work for you, Slam Banjo? Like if I make adjustments, do you see that shit? I prefer that method too, because then not only do you have access to the TA, but you can flip the time frames on it. You know what I mean? You can take your own pencil and draw all over it. You can do whatever the hell you want with it, right? It's more better that way. Alright, we crank up the music a little bit, because it's hype as fuck. And we say, adios amigos.